Hello there, I'm Oscar Mora, and I'd like to highlight some of the strengths we found in our asynchronous lesson on daily routines. Our target audience was 7th graders. Riggs and Linder, in their article Actively Engaging Students in Asynchronous Online Classes, state that active learning activities and pedagogical strategies can look different in online learning environments, particularly in asynchronous courses when students are not interacting with the instructor or with each other in real time. This statement was particularly important to us as a group when we created our lesson because we knew two things. Number one, we had to make our lesson entertaining. Number two, it also had to be effective so that we could make sure students learn and achieve the learning outcomes that we had proposed in our lesson plan. Now, online lessons, specifically asynchronous lessons, are challenging. We knew this because we were experiencing it at the same time with our TESOL Methods class with Professor Veronica, and we're still learning from it. So we did some prior research and looked at online tools that we thought could facilitate the learning and teaching of our lesson. We knew that if we were having fun creating all these online materials, students could as well have fun completing the tasks that they were asked to complete. The lesson plan we submitted was very successful. The professor highlighted that it had a logical sequence and it was coherent. She also mentioned that the learning activities were appropriate for the topic and that the proficiency level was also appropriate, which was one of our main goals. There were some suggestions regarding the timing given to tasks because it seemed like it wasn't enough time to complete such tasks. So we went back and changed it and we distributed time successfully after all. We actually pretended to be students, and I even asked my brother, who is 13, and my nephew, who is 14, to complete the tasks. And after they completed the tasks, we would consider how long they would take, and this helped us make a decision regarding timing. Doing this definitely helped us realize that we needed to make a few modifications, which I think is what great teachers do. Regarding the feedback received by our classmates, we would like to say that we really appreciated their comments as they definitely help us improve our future asynchronous lessons. We received 5 responses in total, and these are some of the results. Number 1 refers to how interactive our asynchronous lesson was, and 60% of students marked it as interactive. Number 2 makes reference to how useful our materials were. 20% said that it was somewhat useful. The other 20%, it was very useful. And the remaining 20% rated it as extremely useful. So that was a total of 60% of students who said that it was useful. Number 3 makes reference to how clear our instructions were, and 60% of students marked it as clear. Number 4 is 100%, and this makes reference to the time allotted for each task. So 100% of students marked it as more than enough time. The next one would be number 5, and in this one we have 80% of students saying that we were very effective and willing to clarify doubts. Number 6, it's regarding how helpful our activities were to the overall understanding. 40% of students marked it as extremely helpful. The other 40% marked it as somewhat helpful, and the remaining 20% as very helpful. Number 7, 60% of students said that it was not so difficult to complete the asynchronous lesson, which was very positive. And number 8, 80% of students marked the lesson as good overall and 20% as excellent. So overall, this was very positive feedback from our classmates, and I think that it was very, very nice to hear it because it motivates us to continue to do amazing asynchronous lessons. In our personal opinion, some of our strengths in the asynchronous lesson itself were creating a sense of connection or rapport with the students by introducing ourselves in the video, using our own pictures, real voices, giving the students a personalized attention if needed with our online office hours and the WhatsApp group, and personalizing the videos for them. We also consider their proficiency level and try to also make the lesson appealing for this particular population. We play with the fonts, the arrangement of videos, the instructions were given using avatars and characters that made the topic engaging and fun. Learning to use technology to teach a class could be described as challenging, interesting, frustrating at times, but it also made us feel like we were proud because due to the current situation with COVID-19, we learned to teach in a totally different platform with the same goal, making sure that learning happens and making sure that this learning is effective. This made us as teachers more up to date with current technology and materials that we could do online, and students it made students more autonomous and independent learners, which is an aspect that Larson, Freeman, and Anderson highlight in their book Techniques and Principles in Language Teaching. We knew very clearly in our minds that we didn't want the lesson to be boring and tiring for students, especially seventh graders. And that's why we made an extra effort to make the lesson as interactive as possible with the tools that we had at the moment. Larson, Freeman, and Anderson, in their book Techniques and Principles in Language Teaching, express that there are two main ways to think about technology for language learning: technology as providing teaching resources and technology as providing enhanced learning experiences. We think that as a group, we were able to implement technology in both ways. In fact, we made use of technology, specifically Voki.com, iMovie, YouTube, Canva, Genially, Vukaroo, Powtoon, Google Forms, and the main platform, Google Classroom. We wanted to make sure that the lesson was entertaining and student friendly so that the task could be completed smoothly and with a logical order, making sure that students were actually learning and enjoying the process. Technology was used as material, but also as the means for student-teacher interaction in which we were able to assess students' progress and the students were able to acquire knowledge and apply it in the tasks. Another thing that we considered that went well was the exercise of the four linguistic skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing, and enhancing the cultural skill in which students had to do some research depending on the character they chose. I think that we all as a group were good at all the macro skills, but we did have a preference for one specific language skill. So what we did as a group is that we divided each skill and created material and activities that we thought could assess that skill in the best way possible. At the end, we all reviewed those activities as a whole and agreed that they were effective for our learning outcomes, and we also gave each other feedback. We definitely made sure that our learning outcomes were coherent with the tasks. Overall, our strengths in the asynchronous lesson could be summarized as A, having effective time management, B, effective use of technological resources such as interactive and personalized videos, and C, effective use of activities and tasks that enhance the four macrolinguistic skills: reading and writing, listening and speaking, and the cultural aspect, of course. As a group and as teachers, We definitely feel very proud of what we have achieved with this lesson, and it is a great first step to creating new and more effective asynchronous lessons in the near future. We were very excited to complete this activity, and we're still learning from it, and we're very glad that we can apply this later on in our career.